Hi again everyone, I'm Sir Chester and welcome to another episode sa ating Basic Calculus series. So bago tayo mag-start, let's hit the intro. So for today's video lesson, we are going to talk about the continuity of a function. So at the end of this video lesson, you should be able to illustrate continuity of a function at a number. You should be able to determine whether a function is continuous at a number or not. So let us consider the graph below. So we are given the graph of the f of x equals 3x minus 1. So is the function continuous at x is equal to 1? So by inspection, let us check whether there is a corresponding y values for x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 is here. I-project natin sa taas until mag-intersect tayo dun sa may line. Which is, the y value for x is equal to 1 is equals to 2. Okay, try naman natin i-compute. Let's check f of 1. F of 1 is equal to 3 times 1 minus 1. And this is equal to 3 minus 1 equals to 2. The function is continuous at x is equal to 1. The function is continuous at x equals to 1. Next, consider the graph below. So we have the graph of the function g of x is equal to 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 all over x minus 1. Is the function continuous at x is equal to 1? Okay, by inspection, check natin if there is a corresponding y value for x is equal to 1. Nasaan si x is equal to 1? Dito si x is equal to 1. Project ulit natin pataas. Yan. Is there a corresponding y value? Since meron tayong hole dito, ibig sabihin yan, yung x is equal to 1 natin is not in the domain of f. Double check natin. Let's try to substitute the value of x into our function. So we have g of x, or this is equal to g of 1 equals 3 times 1 raised to 2 minus 4 times 1 plus 1 all over 1 minus 1. So we have 3 times 1 is equal to 3 minus 4 plus 1 all over 1 minus 1. Solve natin. So we have 3 minus 4, negative 1 plus 1 equals 0. All over 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So mayroon tayong undefined. Undefined na sagot. Ibig sabihin, x is equal to 1 is not in the domain of f. So therefore, our function is not continuous at x is equal to 1. Okay. So let us consider the graph below. So we have the graph of the function h of x is equal to 1 over x. Is the function continuous at x is equal to 0? So by inspection, for this curve, coming from the left, as the curve approaches 0, habang papalapit siya sa 0 ay papunta siya sa negative infinity. How about this one? As x approaches 0, saan papunta yung curve natin? As x approaching 0, yan papunta siya sa value na infinity kasi asymptotic yung dalawang curve natin. So since hindi magmi-meet yung dalawang curves natin, yan, so ma-justify natin na the function is not continuous at x is equal to 0. So there are three conditions of continuity. First, the f of c exists. Tulad ng ginawa natin kanina, sinubstitute natin yung value ng c doon sa f of x natin. If there is a value or nag-i-exist yung value natin, masasabi natin na the function is continuous. So second, the limit of f of x as x approaches c exists. And lastly, we have the 2. So we have the f of c equals the limit of f of x as x approaches c. So paano natin i-apply yan? So we have our first example. For our first example, we are asked to determine if f of x is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 2 is continuous or not at x is equal to 1. First solution, check natin yung f of c natin. So sa solution natin, kailangan natin i-satisfy yung tatlong conditions kanina for continuity. So first, if x is equal to 1, then f of 1 is equal to 0. Tama ba? Let's compute. So we have f of 1 is equal to 1 cubed plus 1 squared minus 2. And this is equal to 1 plus 1 minus 2. And this is equal to 0. Next step. So we have the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 is equal to 0 also. So sinubstitute lang natin yung value ng c doon sa x natin. Substitute lang natin yung value ng c. Yan, so resulting limit natin is 0. So for the third one, kailangan natin mapatunayan na equal yung f of c natin at yung limit of f of x natin. Equal ba sila? Yes. So we have f of 1 is equal to 0 and this is equal to our limit of f of x as x approaches 1. So therefore, our answer is the function is continuous at x is equal to 1. So for our next example, so we are asked to determine if our f of x is equal to x squared minus x minus 2 all over x minus 2 is continuous at or continuous or not at x is equal to 0. So tulad ng ginawa natin kanina sa unang example, kailangan nating satisfy yung tatlong condition. So mayroong f of c, mayroong limit of f of x, and then f of c and the limit of f of x must be equal. So first, let us compute for our f of c or f of 0. If x is equal to 0, then f of 0 is equal to 1. Tama ba? So next, we have to compute for the limit of our f of x or our function. So we have the limit of f of x as x approaches 0 is equal to 1. So substitute lang natin yung value ng c natin sa x. So we have here the limit of 0 plus 1 as x approaches 0 is equal to 1. And lastly, f of 0 is equal to 1 and also this is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches 0. So since na-satisfy natin yung tatlong conditions, so therefore f or the function f is continuous at x is equal to 0. For our next example, so we are asked to determine if our f of x is continuous or not at x is equal to 2. Our f of x is x squared minus x minus 2 all over x minus 2. So, sa solution natin, ulitin-ulit natin yung ginawa natin dun sa mga previous examples. So, we have to compute for our f of c or our f of 2. Yan. For our f of 2, we have undefined value. Kasi nagkaroon tayo ng 0 over 0. Hindi natin alam kung ano nga ba yung value na yan. So, meron tayong undefined value for f of 2. Since undefined na yung value natin sa f of 2, first condition pa lang ay hindi natin na-satisfy. So, we can say that f is discontinuous at x is equal to 2. Bakit? Kasi si x is equal to 2 is not in the domain of our function f. So that's it everyone. So diyan nagtatapos ang ating video. So kung may naintindihan ka sa topic natin ngayon, just hit the like and subscribe button para lagi kang updated sa ating mga video lessons at tutorials sa basic calculus at iba pang mga subjects. So see you on the next video.